Listen up here. The restaurant industry is grueling and unpredictable, just like this show, from the front of the house to the back of the house and all in between. We will turn up the heat, you turn up the volume. I'm Chef Antonio Caruana. Welcome to the Tell All Podcast, the Burnt Hands Perspective.
This podcast contains explicit and potentially offensive material. You've been warned. Now buckle up, bitches. Let's go. Action.
Blacked out today.
I know.
We are blacked out.
It works. It works.
You know why? Because we're talking about money today.
We are talking about money.
We're talking about money.
I think
we're talking about the darkness.
The
darkness of people's emotional strain, of the depths of the money.
The money.
Money. Can we play that while this is playing?
No, then we got to pay for it.
Shit.
If someone wants to sponsor the music, please let us know.
How about fuck bitches get money? Can we play that?
I love that too. Right? Sure.
Get money.
So the topic of today's discussion is the industry in general, pay scales, what people can expect coming into it, what's good, what's bad, how it's changed. So I think, what, is that all of it? Are you cutting?
No, I'm saying that's the cut. Like money just sucks. Cutting it's death. I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm just like, I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't like it.
Well, it's a part of life.
It's part of life.
We have to make money, and a lot of people stay in the business, in the front of house, to make money because going to regular, 9 to 5s, they're then paying taxes, different things, and they're not making as much. So I think it'll be good for people who want to come into the industry, so we can focus on the kitchen part of it first.
Oh, so yeah, let's do it.
What do you want to tell the newcomers or the wannabes coming up that are expecting the moon when they get out of school or they graduate or they get their first job and they don't want to do the work?
It's not even graduating. It starts right at high school kids coming in all the way up through the chains, the ranks. I think the only ones who understand where it really is are those who've been in the industry long enough, have like a tenure in it,
Yeah.
Because they understand the reality of it. I don't know where or how or why people think that a restaurant can produce so much money that it's going to pay them these outrageous salaries that they think they're going to get. There's only so much, right? We have a cap for everything. Each category has a percentage we have to operate, whether it's wine sales, the bar, the food, the miscellaneous, all that shit. It all has its own. It's a rock, and it has so much water in it, right? And you can only squeeze so much water out of that rock. So when people are coming into this industry and they want all these astronomical figures, dishwashers wanting $20 an hour, line cooks with no experience at all wanting $18, $20, $30 an hour. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, first of all. Let's just start there. Just because you show up at a job doesn't mean you're worth the fucking time. It's not. Not in this industry. Now, there's other industries that we're up against the corner. That's why I'm wearing black today.
You're mourning? Are you in mourning?
Well,
over your money you're losing?
Here's the thing. I want to say this first. I wish I was in a position to pay everybody the absolute maximum. That's what I really wish, because everybody would come to work happy. We'd all be happy. We'd be a big thing. It would be the fruits of the labor would be out there. Everything would be great.
But then your doors would be closed
within
a very short amount of time. There.
So what's safe to say? I mean, look, people want raises for not doing more. People want more for not even doing anything.
Yeah.
People want to walk in the door with these astronomical figures of, well, I'm looking to make $70,000 a year. Wait a minute. You're 20.
Yeah.
You're 20. And where are you making that now? What are you comparing this to? I understand. I want to make 170. I want to make $200,000 a year. What the fuck does that mean, right?
And it's also regional, so we should say we're in Virginia. So, I mean, this obviously varies, like New York, cost of living, that kind of stuff. Like, There's always scales on this.
Yeah, of course. Right. So when I was young, I remember getting my first sous chef position, and I was so fucking excited. I was offered $38,000 a year, okay? Couldn't have been happier. That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
And
in the 90s,
I
late
made
90s.
it. I didn't even need to go to executive chef at this point. I was like fucking loving life, right? I didn't love it after about 6 months because it just became the same zeros behind it and I just added everything I was broke for before. I just ran right back up to that same level because you're young and immature anyway. So you're never satisfied.
Managing your money.
Right. So, I went to the owner and I said, look, I need more money. I would like to have a raise. I've been here doing this for 6 months. Everything's going good. And he looked at me and says, no, that's not even an option, dude. That wasn't part of the agreement. You know, the agreement was you'd work for this. This is what I was raising you up to. This is what I hired you for. That's what the position offers.
Yeah.
And at the time, I didn't understand it. I thought he was taking advantage of me. I was being an asshole, so on and so forth, working 60, 70 hours a week. That was just what it was. And I was grateful for making that money when I first got it. But when I ran through it, I expected more for nothing. I really didn't do anything more.
You weren't going above and beyond.
I didn't do nothing more. If anything, I learned how to be late. I learned how, I can admit it now. You have to. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't admit it. You just learn how to get to work late. You learn when to go out and take a break longer. You learn how to put off tomorrow's prep for today. Or those are all the things you learn in the restaurant industry. And the younger you are, the faster you learn that part. It's very rare that someone exceeds so much that you look at them and say, hey, you're worth another $5,000 a year right now. No one wants to say that because it's hard. You know, you really have to work hard at that. But, you know, what do you expect when you walk into a place in this industry? I mean, what do you think? Kids, you have a kid? You have a child that works here?
Yeah, I have my daughter works here, and it's, you know, so pay scale wise, I mean, it's on par with, you know, everything in the area, but other people have become more competitive because it is harder to get people to stay at work. So they're upping it to, you know, 15, 16 bucks an hour. You know, since it fell through, minimum wage didn't get raised to that. You know, it's still minimum wage for most people. Obviously, well, minimum wage when you started with your first job, what was minimum wage then?
$4.
Mine
$4
was,
and I think it was $3.87. It moved up to $4.25.
Yeah, mine was $3.75 for my first job, and that was what I got paid hourly. Right. That was hourly. Yep. Now that's kind of server pay with you know, you're
you
expecting
can't even
that.
Now you didn't have to live on that back then, because back then most kids making that money were kids. Minimum
it was
wage
kids
was
for the most part. It was
because even back then it was very rare someone made minimum wage because it was so low.
Yeah.
Right. Kids did, of course, but adults still, they made $7 an hour, which still isn't shit. But it was double minimum wage back then.
Back
right?
then,
you couldn't
and
double
this is
minimum wage.
This is
right
in the
now.
90s. Like this is when, you know, it started to cost of living started going up a little bit, and then they slowly raised it. But in the restaurant, so I think it varies greatly based on type of restaurant, the amount of work you want to put into it. If you're front of house, back of house, I mean, I can say the variations in nightly money that I brought in bartending varied anywhere from working at, you know, Hooters, where some shifts you only made $100-$200, to nights where most of my nights were $350 to $550 a night.
Right.
That was my average of what I was taking home after working. Mm-hmm. Some nights you made thousands. I mean, it just depended on which type of restaurant, but I always made more money in a better quality clientele versus turn and burn, you know, where I was ringing $3,500 and only walking out with $300-$400 because I had to split it with everybody.
What hurts us now is the fast food world.
Yeah, they have upped hourly quite a bit.
They're getting $16 to $18 an hour. Yeah. This is not a joke. These are kids. They're killing it, and those places are killing us because they walk in here now saying, "Well, I can just go work at so and so." Okay.
And just stand in one spot.
You're not wrong. You could. But what you got to realize is these fast food chains, majority of them all, are using, they're making so much money now more than they ever did. Because now they're getting away with murder, literally. They're killing people with the food they're serving. The food is at the absolute worst. The quality is at the absolute lowest. The process of making the foods they're selling is pretty much in a factory, right? And they're making hamburger patties for pennies and serving them for more than they have ever sold them for ever. So, of course, you can pay a kid $18 an hour now because it's not even fair what they're doing to the human race, to be honest with you.
Well, what if people for regular restaurants versus fast food right now, what's the average of people coming in, like as far as starting base, you know, hourly and salary?
Okay, good call. So, look, if you're a line cook and you're coming in with about 4 or 5 years experience, you're worth to me about $20 if you can toss things around. Okay. That's the first entry level. That's what it can pretty much afford. That's really where you're at. Sorry, that's where you're at. And that's a lot. Some people are going to look at me and say, you're crazy. I know a lot of people, paying line cooks $14 to $18 an hour, right? And you cannot survive that way. I get it. But, you know, that's unfortunately where it's at. You know, if you come into a restaurant like mine, you're going to start off typically on salary here in my place. But, you know, even the hourly people, most of my people are at $20 an hour and up, right? But I vet them to make sure they're worth that money and they can produce and they have a passion. I'm paying them for a service, and they're all working overtime hours. They're all making a decent living, and they all raise up and they all move forward when they're right. You know, if their eval comes around and they're the same person in the same mud hole that they were when they started and haven't moved themselves up, they're gonna remain there. And they go through a few evals, or a few sessions, a year or whatever, and I realize they're holding back the rest of the team, right? But the average person coming in, a dishwasher, man, if you're pulling in $14 to $17 an hour, you're doing good. Here, I pay more than that because they're valuable, right? You have two different things you got to look at when someone hires: people who are hiring that are producing money, and people who are a cost. Okay, a cook who is good is going to help you produce money. They're going to put the food on the table. That's what people are there to buy. A dishwasher is going to clean the plate. We need it. It needs to be done. It's a necessity. But what they're doing is not generating money. It's costing money to have that service, almost like linens. They look good. They're nice, but they just cost money. They cost a lot of money to put these on the table. So for them to do their job, they just have to sit there. For a dishwasher to do their job, they have to do a lot of work. They're very important. They're necessary. But all in all, the job they're doing isn't bringing money on the table, right? It's an expense. So we have to be careful of that. It's easier to give more money to people who are creating more money. A good bar team, a good staff, a sommelier with a high-end rate of pay.
Based on sales, and you get a percentage of sales.
They are bringing the sales in, so it's easier to pay them based off what they're doing.
Number,
So don't get so offended if you walk into a restaurant. Read the room, read your situation, read your rank, right? If you walk in and you're not really, if you're a maintenance person in the building, again, that's an expense. We need it. It's necessary. It has to be done, but it could be budgeted and it could be brought to someone else who can do it for cheaper. That's one of those things that what you're doing is not generating money.
It's not going to generate extra revenue based on those necessities.
Right.
So anybody else that can generate extra revenue can make more money off of that revenue.
If you're a line cook going to get a job, you need to accept the job where you want to be. But you need to work hard. And I'm using the word line cook.
But again, let's redefine what work hard means, because people think that if you're here, 10-hour shift, that's working hard.
That's what people think. That's what they think.
Yeah.
But they're not working shit. They're just here for 10 hours and they think that's my problem. You're getting paid for it. The compensation's there. It's not what you do in that 10 hours is the whole difference of where you're going to be next year. You know what I mean? So if you come in, put your coffee down, get your coffee. I'll use that hypothetically.
Yeah.
Put your knife roll down, put your chef coat on, get everything ready, okay? And within 10 minutes, you're already working, prepping, you have your checklist. You walk in with a bus tub or something, or your apron, and you fill it with the majority of what you need already, bring it back, start your prep, get your list done. Now you're cooking, right? Now you're the type of person who's working smart, which is also working hard to me, okay? Working hard and smart are the same type of thing. You can work harder than others physically, but smartly you got to do it right.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to do that? When you're done your prep list, what are you doing for the next person? What are you doing to set yourself up for when we close down? What are you doing to make this product better? Anything you can do to help the sous chef or anything else. Those are things that are going to get you paid more. When you come in and just do your prep because you're so routine, you just want to get it done, you want to go outside and smoke cigarettes, you want to go out and talk to your girlfriend on the phone, you got your AirPod in because that's more important than what you're doing. You're bitching about the other guy next to you, or you stop cutting mushrooms every fourth mushroom to talk about the game last night, or who got the
productivity.
Productivities. Those are all the things that are going to hold you back. So don't be mad when you don't get your raise because you've been somewhere. You're not going to get a raise from me just because you were here. What you do while you're here.
Or just because of an amount of time. Like people expect every year they're due a raise.
Yeah, I've been here for a year and I'm still making the same money. No, you've been here for a year and you're still doing the same shit.
You haven't done anything above and beyond. So let's clarify that your job description is the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
I think that's what people need to understand. Your job description is the bare minimum.
So when you walk into a kitchen and you sit down and you have that interview or your second interview and you finally get on, if you go through a stage or something, everyone's excited and happy. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be great. So much better than my other place. Da, 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 da. We know the story, right? So if you come in and you sign the agreement, here we are. I'm going to give you X amount. There's room to move. Trust me. That depends on you. Yes, I love it. Thank you, chef. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. And they come in and they continuously do exactly what we talked about. I don't care if you're doing that for 2 years. You're doing exactly what we agreed upon. So until you do more than what we agreed upon, I'm not going to give you more than what we agreed upon. It's
Good
that
point.
simple. So don't get so mad every time a chef or an owner or something, just you think they're being taken advantage of. Honestly assess what you're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly assess, prove to them, show a log, show a journal, have something. You know what I mean?
Well,
Have
I
something.
think it's like when you talk about every business for employee development should have some type of KPIs in place. So you need key performance indicators and whatever that strategy may be. So if it's for front of house, easier because wine sales. Okay, yeah, this is what your KPIs are. This is the numbers you need to hit monthly. Anything over that generates this percent. Anything over those
Sure.
are easier to track.
Right.
So output and just general just going above and beyond are your kind of KPIs in the kitchen.
Right. Exactly.
So it's a little bit different, and it's harder to track sometimes because you're not seeing everything.
It's
either.
not harder to track if they take incentive. So initiative rather. So look, I get certified all the time for things. I don't even need them. I got what I need. I've worked my ass off. But there are programs out there. You can go get certified in Serve Safe. You can get food manager qualifications. You can get qualified to actually teach. You can get you can go to the ACF and get certified as a sous chef or a kitchen commis. You can get certified as an executive. There are certifications upon certifications that you can go get while you're working. And if you bring those to your employer, right? They're going to look at you and see you have motivation. If you stay stagnant all the time and then expect more, you're never going to get it. But if you, in the time you are working for me, if you come to me with 3 or 4 different certificates that you went out on your own, you are now valuable to me.
True.
If you go off somewhere else, you are now going to be my competition. So I'm going to keep you here because of your certifications. You know what I mean? And that's the type of person that's going to get the money and get the raise, get the education. I went and got my wine level 1 quarter masters just because I wanted to have what it is I expect my staff to do. And
I wanted an understanding of it.
I want to understand it, and I want to actually do it too. Yeah. These are things you need to go get.
Even as a server, if you get your, you go and get your level 1 or you work in the just to learn more about the product you're selling, you will in turn sell more and you will generate more sales.
And you have
more money.
You're desired, and you have there's something about you that people want to have, right? So that's where it's at. If you want more money in the chef industry or the culinary industry, you need to go get stuff yourself to make yourself almost unobtainable by other people. You need to make yourself so I have you, I want you, I need you here. But if you're just sitting around thinking that because you've been here for a year and a half, you're supposed to get more. No, I was supposed to get more. This is a two-way street, man. It's a two-way fucking street. And if you're still slinging the same saute pan with your same sloppy apron and your same dirty shoes, that is not going to get you more. It's only going to get you in. You're here. We have an understanding. We're okay. Let's do it. That's cool. I'll pay your paycheck. You do my work. And until one of us had enough of each other, it's going to continue that way.
Yeah.
But if you want to make more money in this industry, in which you absolutely can, make yourself seen unobtainable. Go get more. Get more. Make yourself valuable. That's what I got to say about that.
No, I think that's a great point. I think that it's just the generationally, like we've seen, and we don't like to, it's not generalizing. We don't dog on everybody, but as a overall, everybody right now is expecting a lot more money for less because they think they can go do it online. Well, then go start your OnlyFans and do it that way then, because this is not the work that you need to be doing. If you want easy money that you don't have to do shit for, go start OnlyFans Chef Edition. I don't know what the hell. There are people who do that shit. They cook naked. They do all sorts of OnlyFans. We copyright that if it's on the podcast.
So that's
we said it first, so it's copyright. Today is so this is April 2025. We have copyrighted OnlyFans.
So listen, if you want to make more money and you have to do more work, you have to make yourself more valuable.
Yeah.
Everyone out there wants more and more and more and more. The problem is so many people want more for less that we have a lot more to offer people who go get it. They're just not, you're not going to entice me. I'm going to give you exactly what we agreed upon. If you don't do anything more, you're not getting anything more. If you go get a little bit more right now, you're going to get more because nobody is doing it. You have no competition. Get off your lazy ass and you will be the best because there's no competition out there. Nobody's doing it. Make yourself better today. .com.
.com. You could stand out more today than you could ever in the past because of that. Because people just don't want to do fucking work.
Everything's still there. The avenues are still wide open.
Still there.
Just get off your ass and go get it. That's how you're gonna make more money in the chef world. That's it. That's all I got.
That's what you got on
That's
pay.
it.
Okay,
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Should we just end it with that?
Yeah.
Is that the end?
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, he's finished.
I'm
Everybody.
gonna put on a white shirt now. I feel better.
We're out of mourning. We're out of mourning for your bank account. We really don't give a shit about your bank account. Work more.
Work more.
Get
yeah,
another
work more. I
job.
don't care, right?
You want
Stop
more money?
squeezing water out of a fucking rock, man.
Yeah.
Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Keep squeezing. Nothing's coming out. Replace the rock, man. Get a wet one. Ciao for now.
Ciao.